Welcome again, dear students. Now let's learn the steps involved in the process of control. Step 1, setting performance standard. Step 2, measurement of actual performance. Step 3, comparison of actual performance with standards. Step 4, analyzing deviations. And step 5, taking corrective actions. Let's learn these points one by one. Step 1 is setting the performance standards. That is, targets are to be decided. These targets should be set in quantitative terms. Benchmarks of performance which the organization strives to achieve are the standards. These are the criteria against which the actual performance is measured in an organization. These can be qualitative or quantitative, but generally the targets should be set in quantitative terms so that performance could easily be measured. After setting the standards, after deciding the targets, next step is measurement of actual performance. Performance should be measured in an objective and reliable manner. If possible, measurement of work should be done during its performance. Actual performance is to be measured in same units in which the targets were set at the time of planning. Now the techniques used for measuring the actual performance could be personal observation, that is, performance and disciplinary factors relating to the employee can be judged by personal observation by the supervisor, by the manager, by the bosses, or sample checking could be done. In large manufacturing organizations, pieces of output are randomly checked for the quality purposes, or performance reports could be judged for judging the company's performance at periodic intervals. Some profitability and solvency ratios may be calculated. So these are the different ways how the performance measures are actually considered, how the measurement of the actual performance is done. Then step 3 is comparison of the actual performance with the set standards. Now when the comparison is done between the actual performance and the targets, it will reveal the deviations. Deviations could be positive or deviations could be negative. That is, targets which are set, actual performance may be more than the targets or it may be less than the targets. So comparison reveals the deviations, if any, between the actual performance and the desired results. Comparison is easier when performance standards are in quantitative terms. That is why at the time of step 1, at the time of setting the targets, setting the standards, it should be tried to fix the standards in quantitative terms. See, this is flashed on your screens. Standard production here is 20 units. And there are 3 cases when actual production is 18 units. Second case, actual production is 20 units. Third case, actual production is 23 units. Now, how do we find the deviations? In the first case, where less units are produced, it means we are deviating, and this is a negative deviations where 2 units are less than the standards fixed. In the second case, there is no deviation. But in the third case, we were able to achieve the target more than what was actually fixed. So 3 units are extra production, which is a positive deviation. Step 4 is, once we find out the deviations, now we will focus on analyzing the deviations. Now this has 2 aspects. Significant deviations in key areas of business is critical for its success, and the acceptable range of deviations. See, while fixing the standards, we also need to fix the acceptable range of deviations, that is, up to what range the deviations are permissible. The deviations are acceptable, that is decided at the time of setting the standards. So now when we are analyzing the deviations, we will see whether we are deviating beyond the permissible limit or not. Analysis of deviation is needed to find out the causes. Also, now 2 aspects of analyzing the deviations. One is critical point control, another is management by exception. What is the CPC, critical point control? It's a technique used for controlling significant deviations in key areas of business which are critical for its success. This concept focuses on key result areas, that is KRAs, which are critical for survival of an enterprise, and based on the fact that every activity is neither economical nor easy to control. So if we try to control everything, we'll end up in controlling nothing. Therefore, such key result areas should be analyzed critically, and only those points, only those root cause of deviations should be found out so as to take the corrective action. This is critical point control. Deviations may be due to any reason, but we need to find out the main reason for the deviation and try to control it. That is critical point control. Second aspect is management by exception. It considers acceptable range of deviations. If the production is as per the acceptable range of deviations, we do not take any corrective action. But if it goes beyond the acceptable range, it states that only significant deviations beyond the permissible limit should be analyzed, and it is based on the belief that an attempt to control everything will result in controlling nothing. So if the deviations are going beyond the permissible limit, then management should be informed and corrective actions should be taken. Advantages of critical point control and management by exception. This will help in saving time and effort of managers, since they can concentrate and analyze only the significant deviations. Secondly, it would be better utilization of managerial talent, as managerial attention is focused on important areas only. Thirdly, it facilitates delegation of authority, as routine problems are left to the subordinates. And identification of critical problems which need timely action. So this is about the critical point control and management by exception. Now, after identifying the deviations, they are analyzed and the root causes are found out. Identification of the exact cause is very important and is required to take corrective action. Deviations may be due to many reasons. Maybe our standards are unrealistic. Maybe the process which we are following, that is defective. Maybe there are environmental factors. Maybe our employees are dishonest. They are not working properly. Maybe we have not appointed the right person. Maybe we are not able to give them proper direction. They are not motivated properly. So deviations may be due to multiple reasons. But what we need to find out the basic root cause, and then last step is taking the corrective action. Taking immediate remedial steps when deviations go beyond the permissible limit is very important, so that the problems which arose in the enterprise, they do not arise in the near future again. Errors are not repeated. No corrective action required for those deviations which are within the permissible limit. Then, on the basis of this controlling function, standards could be revised if managerial actions fail to take the corrective deviations. So, I hope that you are all clear with the concept of controlling, features of controlling, importance of controlling, and steps in the process of control. This unit contains only these 3 topics which need to be read and understood properly. Thank you all. Have a nice day.